Water and sanitation-related diseases cause significant deaths and sickness. The purpose of this video module is to promote hygiene, the WASH concepts for prevention of diseases, the WASH concept, water, sanitation and hygiene in our daily life and in every school for every child can be a huge challenge, especially during emergencies.
Namaste, I am Chitra.
And I am Muthu. Do you know why most of the time we children and our elders fall sick?
When we don't wash our hands, eat and drink contaminated food and water, and when we defecate in open and keep our surroundings dirty.
Because of fecal-oral transmission, children are at greatest risk from life-threatening diseases such as diarrhea, which accounts for 25 to 40% of all childhood deaths, as well as acute respiratory infections, malaria, worm infestations, cholera and malnourishment.
Oh, how scary, Chitra. Can we stop the spread of these diseases?
Yes, Muthu. It is very easy to stop the spread of these diseases. All we need to do is routinely put barriers or block in place that leads to fecal-oral transmission.
And for that, the most important things we must do is use latrine and should not defecate in open, wash our hands with soap and water after using latrine or toilet, before touching food or eating and after we clean and change the nappy of a child. Drink water that is collected, transported, treated, stored and used correctly.
We children must understand and learn to protect ourselves from diseases, especially diarrhea, and for this it is important that we make wash as a part of everyday life at home and at school.
Please tell me when we must wash our hands.
Hand washing with soap is one of the simplest and most effective way to prevent diseases and save our lives. We must wash our hands with soap after using latrine, before touching food or eating, and after cleaning a young child or helping a child go to toilet. But washing hands with water alone is not enough. Soap should always be used because soap removes germs better than just rubbing your hands together with water.
How should we wash our hands?
First, wet your hands. Rub soap all over your hands till you see bubbles or foam. Rub hands together and make sure you have worked front, back, wrists and all parts of your hand. Rub palms together and then interlace your fingers, cleaning in between your fingers and thumb area. Then clean your nails. The next step is to rinse germs away. Pour clean water over your hands to rinse. After you wash your hands, don't dry them with clothes you're wearing or with any other dirty cloth. Instead, let it dry or use a clean and washed cloth towel to dry your hands.
Oh, so now I understand. By washing our hands with soap and clean water, we can cut the risk of getting diseases almost to half.
Yes, Muthu. Every home and school should have a hand washing facility near its latrine blocks and also safe excreta disposal.
Open defecation, besides spreading diseases, it frightens young children and girls as they have to walk alone early morning or at night and they feel embarrassed besides the risk of harassment and violence.
When we defecate in open, the surrounding area is constantly soiled and it smells and there are flies and mosquitoes. Oh!
Everyone must always use latrine or toilet and should not defecate in open. Looking after latrines. After using latrine, we must flush it with water. A latrine is more likely to be used if it is clean. Daily maintenance tasks include cleaning floor area, slab and brushing walls in surrounding area, keeping the area around the latrine free from surface water, puddles and dirt, checking and replacing soap and water for hand washing, emptying waste, replacing cleaning materials.
So dear children and elders, use latrine. Do not defecate in open and wash your hands always with soap.
And ensure that latrines are clean.
What about drinking water?
Water should be collected and transported in covered, clean containers without coming into contact with hands. The water should be stored in a covered container to prevent contamination. Placing the container out of reach of small children is a good idea. Drinking water should be poured from container into clean cups. People are often forced to draw water from rivers, ponds, leaking pipes, tanks and wells that are damaged and contaminated. At any cost, we must avoid collecting water from places where people are defecating in or near water resources, animals are using the same source and dead animals have been disposed. We must avoid water source next to damaged latrines, and if there are heavy rains or flooding, and if stormwater drainage is poor. We must always use water from a reliable source and collect, treat, store and use drinking water properly. Boiling or treating water with chlorine tablet will make water safe for drinking. To treat water with chlorine tablet, for 20 liters of water, 1 tablet is enough. After adding chlorine tablet to water in a water container, we must not use the water for 30 minutes. If using heat to disinfect, the water should be boiled and remain boiling for at least 10 minutes to make sure all pathogens are killed before use. Water is not just for drinking and food preparation. It is also used for bathing, laundry and play. We need to be vigilant and aware of our personal hygiene and safety at all times.
In addition to washing hands with soap, we must brush our teeth every day and keep our fingernails, toenails short and clean, and hair clean and combed.
Do you know, Muthu? It is compulsory that our school should provide toilets with hand wash facility and with separate toilets for girls and boys.
Wash at schools. Toilets should be clean and neat, adequate water supply, pipe connections in schools, proper storage and handling of drinking water, installation of hand pumps, provision of hand wash facility with soap, buckets, mugs, etc., special arrangements for physically challenged children, proper hygienic arrangements for midday meal preparation and storage including observance of personal hygiene and usage of gloves by cooks and other workers concerned, kitchen garden, rainwater harvesting, arrangement for proper disposal of solid and liquid waste with drainage system, garbage pit, soap pit, activities like health and sanitation clubs, orientation program for school heads and teachers, etc.
At school, in addition to promoting basic hygiene, girls should be provided separate latrines with doors that can be closed and locked from inside, sanitary pads and soap and water for hand washing, some private space to recover from temporary pain and cramping during menstruation.
Village panchayats have an important role to play of providing drinking water and sanitation facilities at all schools in their area. Village panchayats along with school management committees and principal of the school and teachers should motivate proper hygiene education. Support can be accessed for drinking water and sanitation provisions at school from Sarva Siksha Abhiyan, National Rural Drinking Water Program, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural School Management Employment Guarantee Scheme.
Do you know, Muthu, special attention has to be paid to water, sanitation and hygiene during disasters, particularly during floods, cyclones and droughts.
Because during floods and cyclones, floodwater contaminates sources of drinking water. Likewise, acute scarcity of water during droughts affects sanitation due to non-adherence of basic hygiene practices due to lack of water. Some of the precautions that can be taken up during floods and droughts are as follows.
Wash in emergencies.
Higher level of protection of all water sources, cleaning of catchment area around service reservoirs and disinfection of water. When the quality of drinking water is doubtful, boiling is the best form of purification. If boiling is not possible, then use of chlorine tablet is recommended. Procuring safe drinking water from alternate sources for supply to the villages and duly arranging its transportation when necessary and providing sufficient number of clean containers with lids for stocking drinking water. Constructing temporary trench latrines as an emergency measure at select locations along with provisions for hand wash with soap, and in flood affected areas, squatting latrines have to be constructed on a raised platform.
Generally, during these situations, public health departments issue advisories cautioning people about the likelihood of communicable diseases and asking people to take certain precautions to prevent the spread of these diseases. Hence, Gram Panchayat should watch out for these advisories and vigorously disseminate cautionary messages among villagers.
These hygiene measures should be undertaken both at schools and at community level for safe and healthy living. We must maintain cleanliness and avoid contamination around water sources, proper disposal of solid waste and excreta, wastewater drainage and controlling animal rearing and market hygiene daily and also during disasters and emergencies.
When we children teach and pass information to another person, including another child, they become peer educators. Peer-to-peer education is an effective tool of learning both inside and outside school.
So friends, let's practice good hygiene and stay healthy.